To be lost in spiritlessness is the most terrible thing of all. The most painful state of being is remembering the future, particularly the one you'll never have. If anyone on the verge of action should judge himself according to the outcome, he would never begin. What distinguishes all love from lust is the fact that it bears an impress of eternity. Life has become a bitter drink to me, and yet it must be taken in drops, counted one by one. I'm so misunderstood that people misunderstand me even when I tell them I'm misunderstood. Sleeping is the height of genius. Come, sleep and death, you promise nothing, you hold everything. Man has made a discovery. The way to make life easy is to make it meaningless. And to contend with the whole world is a comfort, but to contend with oneself dreadful. My melancholy is the most faithful sweetheart I have had. In my great melancholy, I loved life, for I love my melancholy. What is youth? A dream. What is love? The dream's content. Only the person who is essentially capable of remaining silent is capable of speaking essentially. I would rather be a swineherd understood by the swine than a poet misunderstood by men. Language has time as its element. All other media have space as their element. I opened my eyes and saw the real world, and I began to laugh, and I haven't stopped since. Seducing a girl is no art, but it needs a stroke of good fortune to find one worth seducing. Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. The function of prayer is not to influence God, but rather to change the nature of the one who prays. People demand freedom of speech as a compensation for the freedom of thought, which they seldom use. Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. There are two ways to be fooled. One is to believe what isn't true. The other is to refuse to believe what is true. To dare is to lose one's footing momentarily. Not to dare is to lose oneself. The tyrant dies, and his rule is over. The martyr dies, and his rule begins. The more one suffers, the more, I believe, has one a sense for the comic. I choose one thing, always to have the laughter on my side. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. The more a person limits himself, the more resourceful he becomes. Courage is life's only measure. Sin is, in despair, not wanting to be oneself before God. To believe is indeed to lose the understanding in order to gain God. She does not suspect how much reason I have for deprecating all sympathy. A man who cannot seduce men cannot save them either. Genius never desires what does not exist. Ask me what you wish, just do not ask me for reasons. All lives end, but not all conclude. It is not what happens to me that makes me great, but what I do. Do it or don't do it, you will regret both. People settle for a level of despair they can tolerate and call it happiness. Life has its own hidden forces, which you can only discover by living. Far from idleness being the root of all evil, it is rather the only true good. Therefore, do not deceive yourself. Of all deceivers, fear most yourself. Now, with God's help, I shall become myself. If you want to be loathsome to God, just run with the herd. The task must be made difficult, for only the difficult inspires the noble-hearted. My standpoint is armed neutrality. The only intelligent tactical response to life's horror is to laugh defiantly at it. Whoever has learned to be anxious in the right way has learned the ultimate. Leap of faith, yes, but only after reflection. Why bother remembering a past that cannot be made into a present? Happiness is the greatest hiding place for despair. On the secretly blushing cheek is reflected the glow of the heart. It is very important in life to know when your cue comes.